I was very young at the time they came to get me to start fishing.
When they said to go under the water to go remove the net, I was afraid I can't go. And I told him it was very, very, very cold. And he said I should go. But I said I don't know how to swim.
All I ever did was work and was beaten up whenever I refused to do anything I was instructed to do. I'm not really sure why both my parents asked me to go.
When I was living there, I think I'll live there forever. Inside me, my spirit tells me always, this is not the place I have to be.
This is Nick News with Linda Ellerby. Kids for Sale, Slavery in Ghana. Now from New York, here is Linda Ellerby.
Human trafficking has gone by other names in other times. It used to be called the slave trade. No matter what you call it, the practice has always included the sale of kids. It still does. Child trafficking is an international problem affecting millions of people and many countries around the world. This show is about shining a light on a huge issue by focusing on one place, one particular situation, some remarkable American kids, and equally remarkable former child slaves trying to make it better. This show is about a rescue mission. The journey really started when Tyler, a 15-year-old boy from Brentwood, California, saw a show on television back when he was 9 years old.
They're featuring a story on child trafficking in Ghana, Africa. And these kids were being sold into trafficking by their own parents for as little as $20. And they're forced to fish 14 hours a day with only one meal. And I felt horrible for these kids, and I couldn't believe that these kids were being treated this way. I thought everyone was treated as great as I was.
When Tyler came to me and asked to do a fundraiser for children he had learned were in trafficking on Lake Volta in Ghana, Africa, I kind of thought he was crazy. He was 9, he was little, and I didn't think it would actually really happen. My name is Laura, and I'm Tyler's mom.
We've done thousands of lemonade stands, car washes, celebrity fundraisers, and just anything we could do to raise money to save children out of trafficking.
Fishing is not for children. So if you find a child doing this work, I see it as a child abuse. When they dive into the water to remove this net, some of them cannot hold their breath for a long time. They get entangled in the net. They don't come up for a long time. You can just die. On the lake, you can meet a lot of wind. And when the wind starts blowing, and the canoe capsizes, and last upon, they beat them. Sometimes they can beat them with paddles, hooks, and things. Whether it's your own child, whether it's somebody else's child, that kind of fishing is not for kids.
My name is Eric Piazza. I am a social worker by profession, and I'm working in the non-for-profit called Right to Be Free. My focus is basically to see how best we can give hope to some of these children who have been rented, some fishermen who use them as fishing hands or fishing boys on the Lake Volta.
The joy I have with Thailand and the other kids is that somebody far away from Africa, far away from us, saw something on a TV show that touched him. But he thought, oh, listen, I can do something about it. By 2005, there's a law was passed on human trafficking. And I think that it makes it illegal. The law in trafficking in Ghana is one of the best. But to make sure you enforce these laws is the issue. That's one of the major challenges we all have on the issue of this child trafficking in Ghana.
The kids are sold into trafficking by their parents not having enough money to support the rest of their family. So they think that it's okay to get a little money. And the parents are told that they will learn a certain skill set, and then they will be able to come back to their home and provide for their families.
But you cannot learn a trade at the age of 6, 7. What we realized that the parents, some of them are deceived into believing that children's life become better.
They just was lying to you. But when you go there, before you know that, you are in hell.
Tete is a 22-year-old young man who was formerly trafficked and was rescued 6 years ago. And he now works with Eric to relate to the children that we're rescuing so that they can look at him and see hope and not feel scared.
Madison, one of the girls with me on this trip, has been a good friend of my family's for a long time. And she got really involved when I told her what we do, and she loved the idea and wanted to help out.
Before we came, I knew that the kids were in harsh conditions. I didn't really know how much they got hurt by the fishermen necessarily, or how they were taken away from where they lived. My name is Maddie. I'm 15 years old and I'm from Walnut Creek, California.
I just came to my mother's place, and my mother showed them out to me. This is my uncle, but it's not true. It was just he needed just help. That's why he just came to the town to look for somebody, and he get me and take me away. Because you are just a little person, so you don't know what is going on.
He described it: by the time I could walk, by the time I could talk, by the time I knew what I was doing, I was fishing. He grew up and that was all he knew. He was taken away when he was 5. He spent 10 years in slavery, and during that time he was hit, he was hurt, and so he went through a lot.
Since I've lived from my mother's place, I never see my mother again. Only my master who will see my mom. One day when you go to my mom's place, you tell my mom, I said I will not come back again. I get food. I'll be married there. So I don't want to see her again. With the way he take care of me, even she cannot take care of me like that. But he was lying to my mother.
When one fisherman doesn't need him again, he lend him out somebody in the same community. So he was trafficked more than 5 or 6 times to different fishermen. So he went through a lot of rough time. But I believe that the path he's taking now will help him.
So today we're going to the village where Never lives. It's crazy. To think I was just 9 when I saw him on TV, and now I'm here meeting him.
This is Never, this is
Tyler.
Yeah.
Okay. Very nice meeting you. Thank you.
So you guys have fun. So I finished with 2 of you. So.
You inspired me to raise money to help save the kids out of trafficking.
Yes.
And I've been doing it for 5 years, and now...
5 years? You see, this fishing story is a story...
That is a very long story.
Yes, it's a long story. It's a story where when you start, before you finish, your heart will melt like a snow.
Yes.
Fishing is very difficult. The condition there is not good at all.
It makes me sad when I hear their stories. It makes me feel like all the bad things in my life really aren't that bad, and they could be a lot worse, and it drives me. The trip from Accra to here has been a long journey, but we're finally here. I can't feel my legs. Staying at the motel last night was pretty hard. It was incredibly hot, but you gotta push through and think that the kids have it worse, so I should be able to do this. This morning we are at Lake Volta and we're about to go on our first rescue mission. My goal for the next 5 days is to get at least 5 kids out of fishing trafficking.
When you go to the village, we call it community derba. In English, derba means like community meeting. During this meeting, we have the chief, the elders, opinion leaders, In those communities, men make decisions. So we go there and offer them friendship, have fun with them, and then they open up. Once they open up, we bring our message. Now, this woman we saw here, who said he has some children, wanted to let him go.
The process of getting kids is we pay the fishermen and they sign a document saying that they will never traffic another kid again. If they sign the document and then they traffic another child, they will be arrested. We give the fishermen mostly money, but sometimes we give them supplies, and then sometimes we'll build like a fish pond for them, or just other things that might help their business.
But the whole community is going to benefit. That's what you want to take.
We have one negotiation where it's a mutual agreement that they have pretty much told us they will release the child, but we have not taken him yet. We're in our second village. We are going in to see if there are some children in there that we can rescue for trafficking.
I did feel helpless during the negotiations because I couldn't understand what people were saying. I couldn't put my input to the situation. I couldn't really do anything, just sit and watch.
We travel along the Volta Lake in the course of the year and identify villages where they have children. Or we also use the boat on the lake and meet children who are fishing. Find out from them where they're coming from.
When I see them on the boat, feel the tension from the fishermen, it's all the sensory details that really help me understand what exactly they're going through and how rough of a situation it really is.
Today, take the boat for me, picture for the boat for me, okay? Look at the name. The boat here, Bemensuka. He was crying when he saw him because the fisherman told him that we are going to arrest him. So he started crying. So when we got there, he didn't want to come closer until we have to do some kind of play with him, and then he got happy and then he came closer. That's the boy I'm referring to. It's always advisable that the time the fisherman says yes, you take the shot. If you give the fisherman more than other time to think about, other members in the community will influence them.
There was definitely that feeling of disappointment for all the kids we had to leave behind, like Alex. He had come on the boat with us. I was kind of establishing a small connection at least, and that's devastating emotionally.
The job I do here is very difficult, and we work for long hours. Whenever it got windy while we were fishing, I would just keep praying over and over that nothing bad happened to us. We sometimes get lost and end up spending long hours before we find our way back.
The boys' master called Kofi Apreku. About 2 weeks ago, we were cruising the lake and we saw him working with 2 children and asked him why is he using children.
My mom allowed him to bring us here so we can learn how to work as fisher boys. I was very young when I was taken away from my mother, so I would not be able to recognize her.
We spent some time with him and we established a relationship and asked him why is he using children for work. That he's fishing with them because he doesn't have money. So we took our time with him and he agreed finally so we can let him go and help him and help the children. So I asked Tete to take the child back to the canoe very quickly.
The reason why we work quick is because if we didn't work quick, people want to call him and deceive him and tell him she did go again.
It's absolutely worth to rescue. One life is worth anything. You don't know what Kojo will become. Kojo could be president of Ghana one day.
We rescued the boy, went to the next village, and then we stayed in that village overnight. And the fun at that village is that there's no hotel, there's no toilet facilities, there's nothing. It's just bare, minimum, raw nature. And that's the joy. I saw this American boy coming to Africa for the first time, going to sleep outside the open air, in the open tent. So it's fun. And I've told them that, listen, we call it Moonlight Hotel. hotel under the moon, so you don't pay anything.
The dance last night was really cool. It was a good beat. The conditions are a bit hard, and it's not what we're used to. Staying in the village has been, not many people get to do it in their lifetime, so it's great to experience it. Tete decided to go with us on the rescue mission and go back to his old village to help and make an impact.
Since his uncle has allowed him to go,
I think it was hard for Tete to go back to his old village. I don't know if I would have gone back.
Tete was one of my workers, but I supported the idea of going to school. That's why I allowed him to leave. I won't make enough profit if I should hire adults to work for me. I can stop employing young children as workers. However, I don't know if the others can. I don't think bringing the policemen to arrest fishermen who engage young children in their business will put a stop to this. The parents don't have the money to support themselves or their kids. That's why they give them away to work.
That small ceremony he did there will go a long way in history in that community.
The reason I want to give him that present, because he leave me, I come to school and I become somebody, the changed person.
And that's the message I think that is good for all the fishermen to know.
Right now, I feel sticky, dirty, exhausted, but accomplished. We've done so many fundraisers, and it's all just paid off today.
Put your eyes inside the hoop.
I mean, we saved 4 kids. In the end, we did a good thing.
When we rescue the children, we try to bring them back to a center where we do what we call rehabilitation. We do that because these children have gone through a lot of abuse and trauma. So we try to make sure that we help them to become more children again.
The transition for these kids must be extreme. I mean, they've never used utensils before. They've never opened a door before. They don't know how to use a lock. They've never slept in bunk beds.
We used to sleep on mats on the bare floor and then cover ourselves with a piece of cloth. Here, I can sleep on the mattress and lay my head on a pillow as well. Everything is beautiful.
So you are preparing them to go home. So you must prepare them both psychologically, physically, emotionally, and everything. Once they are ready, after 2.5 months, we go and look for their parents. And then we see what is wrong with the parents. Why did they give the child out entirely? Then we try to see how best we can fix the problem for the child to go back. We monitor them for 2 years. Then after 2 years, we can finish the circle. Some of them don't even know what to expect when they go back home. The same home that was they trafficked from. Some of the parents don't know what the kids have gone through. So when you tell them the story, some of them cry, they shed tears, and some of them said never would they allow the child to go again. Since 2002 up to date, we've rescued 784 children and reintegrated them back to their family. I can say that about 10% of them have been re-trafficked, but the 90% of them are still there. And to me, it's okay. I'm happy with that.
Titi, he's come here, so now he's living with the kids at the center to take them through this process. And he's, their friend, but also their teacher, and he's really giving back a lot.
The ball is on the table.
Going to school gives me hope and makes me believe I have a better future.
So we are going to sing our
song. Rescuing them and bringing them here is very good. It's the beginning of a long journey. But the joy you have is that you've given these children hope. To be at home, it will be far, far better than being on the lake. And that's the joy about it.
It does feel like they're at a better place. I mean, they're coming from these horrible, intense lives and coming into the comfort of loving arms, and they're going to go to school and play with friends. And it's a much better life for them.
I just can't express how happy I am to be living here now. I don't want to live with any master again.
If some kids are out there and they're very interested in making a difference, just do it. Don't doubt yourself. Ask as many people for help. I mean, just a little bit can change a person's life. And as long as you have the drive, you can do anything.
As we like to say on Nick News, wherever you find bad things happening, you always find good people trying to make it better, kids included. This show proves that point. Kofi Annan from Ghana, diplomat, Nobel Peace Prize winner, and former Secretary General of the United Nations, once said, "You've taught young people that they do have the power to change the world." He said that to Bono of the band U2. Today he might say the same thing to Tyler, and Tyler might respond with a proverb from Ghana: act as if it's impossible to fail. I'm Linda Ellerby. Goodbye for Nick News.
To find out how you can help, go to nicknews.com.